Thanks for joining us. Now, the free SHS policy has definitely increased school enrollment in senior high schools in the country, but it has also brought untold difficulties on school administrators who have to ensure the smooth running of the program in spite of the challenges. JoyNews' Eastern Regional Correspondent Maxwell Kodeko traveled to Klo Agogo in the Yulokrobo district of the Eastern Region and reports that conditions there make it difficult for academic work to take place. Students say conditions there are no better than any Ghanaian prison.
It is a policy to increase literacy, provide basic manpower development, and end poverty through the impartation of knowledge. Some critics of this government calls it a mere campaign promise, while others term it a bold decision which will change the fortunes of Ghana. It is called the Free Senior High School Policy. It's been weeks into the implementation of this policy. How is it faring? How can we manage it? And how will it end? At Klo Agogo Senior High School in the Yulokrobo district of the Eastern Region, the story is pathetic. On the average, 120 students are admitted yearly, but the introduction of the Free Senior High School Policy tremendously increased the numbers to 465 boarders for this academic year. Some students have been highlighting their challenges.
So the toilet set, it came to where we eat. So at times, unless we wait for small before we can eat.
I thought, I was dreaming I'll come and meet a bed, because I told my parents that I'm coming to sleep on top of their bed. When I came, this was I came to serve. We were sleeping on the floor with our bed. And even with that ground, we are piled up like sardine. Oh, even the prisoners, they are feeling comfortable than us. We are really suffering. And for my problem, my family, we are not having any sickness called romanticism. But since I started sleeping on the floor, I got affected with this sickness called romanticism. When the weather is cold, I can't go out.
Please, in our dormitory, we don't have a place to sleep. We sleep like a sardine in a tree. Some people sleep on, two people sleep on one bed. You know, we sleep on the floor. It's not in the bed, on the floor. It's a place we need beds.
About 13 classroom blocks have been converted into dormitories, but the situation is still worse. Male students are no exception. Many freshers have fallen sick, lying on mattresses in their dormitories, while others are learning.
Dormitories, they did from at the Araba, and it's a question that didn't probably have 6 hospital, and then so a beam said good one man, yeah, was a sanction once from hospital. Nipa say 80 and I got is I died 12. Now 18 and bed now one look rampon in blue 40. And Nipa be Google former a bed non so am I and the bed says 6 with Nipa be knowing to me and die a bed back also. And to be pretty go from. They be a bedroom Sunday be an motor do until Monday you die in Timenda, a demo in our show.
This room is supposed to be the school's library, but it's currently serving a dual purpose: a library and storeroom for kitchen staff.
The beans are smelling when, in terms of what, when we are coming to learn. We hear some of the scent, so we distract our learning, and we don't even get enough space to feel comfortable in terms of what learning.
Cleanliness, they say, is next to godliness. Meanwhile, the story is opposite in this school. Students don't have proper toilet facilities. Field-made students defecate in polythene bags and dump them into the bush. Cholera is imminent.
We have a term called shapoli. Yeah, so excuse my words. We, in quotes, we poo-poo in the rubber and then we wind it, throw it into the bush. And the seniors will tell us that we are opening boutique over there.
We are having a problem with the downtown. We normally call it downtown. We don't have any proper place to shit. Even the place is even full up. So we suffer before. As for me, I always shit. Every day I go for private and I use black rubber. Even the black rubber, I suffer for getting some, but I have to use it.
This uncompleted building has been converted into classroom block. Concentration level of students is very low as a result of disruption by animals.
The classroom is not good at all. When we are then they go there.
One at a time.
Goats and chicken will come and do it. Right now, I go get banana. I go to and chicken. We are suffering.
Our classrooms are not good at all. Where we are sitting are not good. There are a lot of rubbish. Animals are passing there inside our classroom.
In my class, Umeko's class, just Saturday, a big goat, pregnant, died in their classroom.
They'll be looking at us. They'll come and study with us in the class.
Students sometimes regret accepting postings into the school.
If not with the free SHS, sir, I will never step foot in this town.
But do you regret accepting to be here?
Oh, I really regret because of what I'm facing.
Especially prep time. We find difficult sitting together, no desks. Sometimes we stand and prep. After that, then we enter our various classrooms.
Do you regret coming here?
Yes. If not because of the free SHS.
School authorities have declined commenting on the problems. Meanwhile, District Chief Executive Officer for the Yilo-Krobot District Assembly, Honorable Ebenezer Tete Kupualo, has been speaking to Joy News.
From the headmaster, they need at least 200 beds. I promise giving them 100. We also ask the contractor to give us estimate concerning the ground floor of the school building, for which he is still working out the estimate, so that readily we can give them those assistants to go to site and get this classroom fixed for the children to go in.
So how soon are they going to site? How soon are we fixing this problem?
We are waiting on the contractor, but this problem will be fixed in the next 1 month.
There are issues of lack of accommodation for the students, lack of classroom blocks, and a host of infrastructure deficits or challenges in this particular institution. For Joy News, Maxwell Kudako reporting.
But let's cross over now to the Ministry of Education, because Deputy Minister Dr. Yao Educhum is speaking with our Matilda Wemega on the matters arising from our Joy News agenda on free SHS this week.
Classrooms and I talked to students. I went to Kaneshi Technical, and it was so exciting. I even addressed the whole school assembly, and it was great to connect with the kids and to see them and to be able to touch base with them. So yes, there are challenges, of course, but...
What are those challenges you have identified?
I'll classify them from facility to furniture, for example. In terms of staffing, we've done very well. Headmasters have worked very well in staffing their classrooms and staffing their schools. So our major challenge is not with staffing, but facility and infrastructure, and of course furniture. Now, if you look at infrastructure, we're dealing with it at two levels. A number of places, they have some ongoing Get Fund construction projects, and so we prioritize that. And we met with contractors, like West African Senior High School and Accra Girls and a number of other schools where there are ongoing Get Fund projects. Get Fund prioritized those contractors. And we sat down with them and told them, hey, we will pay you. We want to make sure the work is done. And yes, we've made disbursement to all those who are working on projects that will have immediate impact on the well-being of the students. So we prioritize that as an emergency step to make sure that if a building is close to completion, it should be completed right away. If a dorm is about to be finished, it should be finished so that when the best come, we have a place to take them to. So that is what we did. We look at a number of schools across the country, and we're able to prioritize that. And Get Fund was gracious enough to say, okay, I will fund these ones. I'll prioritize them. I'll make sure the contractors are paid so that they can finish these facilities in a timely fashion for us. So that was the first step. The second step was we also are looking long term. We're looking at next year. We're looking at the challenges that will be ahead of us, and we don't want to wait for next year to come. So about 2 weeks ago, there was a tender that was issued in regards to facilities in a number of secondary schools where we think are are places where we have to be ready for next year.
Do we have the figures of these schools that are of priority now?
Yeah, we can get you the list. But the important thing, we have dorms that are like Vapo in the Volta region. I went there myself. I saw that given the growth this year, their first year enrollment is greater than the 2 years combined, the second and third year. So next year we know it will have a huge effect on the population. So a dormitory is being awarded a contract now so that it will be built there.
Talk of the Volta region. I know of a school in the Volta region, precisely Keta Senior High School, where I know that teacher bungalows are being converted into dormitories.
I can research into that more to get you kind of the update. But what I was saying was that we are looking not just this year. We know the emergency measures we are taking this year. We're also looking at next year. And of course, I'll take a look at Keta and look at the situation there and how we prepare to make sure that we can prevent the repetition of this year in making sure that the facilities that will accommodate more students are available. So there are a number of schools where new classroom blocks are going. Fiasimai, for example, in Western region, they had a problem with their dining hall facility, and now they're going to get a new dining hall. So there are a number of things that we're doing now. We're looking at the hotspots.
So I want to know, do we have the figures of these hotspots? Because definitely some schools will be in dire need than others, and looking at the location of some schools, are we giving priority to these schools, and what are the emergency interventions for these schools?
Yeah, as I just said, that we have surveyed, we have done evaluation, we have done monitoring, and based on that, we've been able to identify some of these areas. And I give an example of Vapo and the fact that they're going to have a dorm.
How soon are they going to have that?
I mean, the tender is going to be opened, I think it's today, and yeah, Wednesday. And we are hopeful that by January, construction will begin. So there are a number of cases like that where we feel like let's move and move fast. The uncompleted is what will ease the pressure this year. And that is why if you look at Accra Girls, beautiful dorm under construction that will accommodate so many students. And as a result, we've prioritized them, get funders on top of it, and the contractor is working.
I'm afraid of this January date timeline we've given to these dormitories to be ready. Some of our reporters have been to the regions. We've seen some schools. Some of the children have to put up under trees. They have to tie their nets. They come out to sleep. Some are also putting up in classrooms. Some are sleeping in places that ordinarily they wouldn't have been sleeping there if they were at home. I want to know, until when do we come in? If we are talking of January, we are in November now.
I said the construction for new facilities for the next academic year.
Okay.
That's why I say January.
At the moment,
dire situations will wait till January. No, I didn't say that.
So
what I'm saying is this: we have case by case basis. There are places where they need furniture will have to go immediately. There are places where there's a building sitting there which is about to be completed, and if we could speed it up within the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you ease the situation.
So we are expecting to see some of these furniture moving into the schools in 2 weeks?
In 2 weeks, everywhere that there's a need for furniture, they're going to have their furniture.
Beyond furniture, as some actually want accommodation, theirs is not really about furniture.
That's why I think I will have to reiterate this, that we looked at places where there are uncompleted buildings, structures. We met with contractors. We told them, go ahead and complete this for us.
Other places don't even have uncompleted projects at all.
What you need to understand is that some of these problems have festered for years. And thank God for the media that now you are focused on this. And that is why all these things are now coming to light as if it was invented this year. But we believe, as the president have said and my minister have said, we want to confront the challenges and solve them. And that is why we are doing everything possible. We don't just sit here. We send people out, and we are grateful that the media is also doing a fantastic job.
We have an agenda on that. We started this week and
bringing these issues to the fore. And let me tell you this: truly, senior high school education needs a serious media look, and I'm glad you are looking at it. There are many other areas that you're going to have to also take a look about quality.
We will. I mean,
and how schools are failing in this country. All that we are saying is this: we have no illusions whatsoever that it was going to be a free ride. We believed that there was going to be challenges, but the good news is that we prepared ourselves, and we knew that once the program began, we had to find a way to solve the challenges. And that's why I appreciate the work that you are doing, because you are helping us. You are equipping us with more information so that issues that need to be confronted with immediately could be confronted with. There were schools in Kumasi where we got media reports that they were congested. The regional director, a very wonderful woman, moved in, and they were able to redistribute, move some students from one school to the other, where there was no congestion. So that they could ease the congestion at some of the schools. So there are situations where you may have this school congested, and there's another one sitting close by that don't have the number of students that they were anticipating. And then we immediately move in and look at how do we redistribute. So there are a number of things that we solved where the media did not even know, but we felt like it needs to be solved. We've got to solve them. We're proactive, and we move full steam ahead to solve some of the problems. Yes, others are still festering, and when it comes to our attention, we jump and make sure that we can solve them. So everything that you are telling me, there are issues that we know. We are going through processes to make sure that these challenges are resolved so that quality of learning will become the next most important focus.
Deputy Minister for Education, Dr. Yao Educhum, there speaking to our Matilda Owemega.